What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Raw Recovery, the community. Today, I have with me our guest, Billy. Before we get into it, I'm going to let him introduce himself because recently he just celebrated 1 year of sobriety. So, Billy, please take the floor.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
My name is Billy. I just recently recovered 1 year of recovery.
Nice.
April 8th is my sobriety date.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit about me, I guess. I'm a husband, father of 3 beautiful children.
Nice.
And currently work as a steam fitter in the city for Local 638. And that's about it. That's where I'm at now. But, just focusing on constant recovery and focusing to keep moving forward.
Perfect. 1 year of sobriety. That's amazing. I take my hat off to you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's get into it, okay? So you were referred to us by a member of our team who gave us a little bit of background on you. She explained that you were in the military. Who were you before you went to the military?
I was lost. I know that I wasn't where I wanted to be mentally, physically. I mean, I was confused, I have a few older siblings, I'm the youngest of 5. And my brothers and sisters all kind of had a plan. They all went to, good colleges and schools and they started their careers. And my next sibling is 10 years older than me. Oh. So there's been a gap, right? So I'm watching them grow and kind of live their life and start as adults where I'm still in junior high school, Yeah. So there was kind of pressure there of what to do, but school wasn't really my thing. I had the ability to do it, but I really didn't put the effort in. So my father was in the military, and it's funny, like after the fact, I found out that I kind of followed exactly in his footsteps. On my 18th birthday, I turned 18 as a senior in high school, and it was January. And they called me in and they said, Billy, you can't graduate this year. Now, if you were to graduate within the 6 months of the following year, they let you walk with your class. And they said, you're going to have to do another full year of 2 periods a day for a full year. And I was like, well, can you do like 4 periods a day for half a year so I could walk with my class? Like, no, sorry. I was like, all right, sign me out. I'm done. They're like, well, we don't want you to do that. I was like, then make it happen. Right. And they're like, well, we can't. I was like, well, then I'm 18 years old. I don't need any consent. I'm going to sign myself out. And that's, looking back, that's that impulsive behavior that I've seen as an adult starting young. Okay. Okay. And signed myself out. But I also knew that I couldn't just drop out of high school and be okay. Like my family, trust me, they did not agree with it. Right. But 2 weeks later, I signed up for the Army. Okay. And like my father did and stuff like that. And that was it. That was really where I was at. I was a mediocre athlete. I was a mediocre student if I applied. Like I was very, so I wanted more. Mentally, I wasn't. But like, what I've done so far and what I've proven, my intentions were always one thing, but my actions were different. So like, what I shown the world of what other people viewed me as, what I felt wasn't enough for me, So I knew by going into the military, it was pre 9/11. Right. I'm thinking back. I'm not saying anything yet. This was in the year 2000. Right. So just turned 2000. So like, to me, it was like, I can get away. I can go pretend to be a tough guy and get the clout that I want. And really, what's going on? And that changed shortly thereafter. So you went in, you gave us your reasoning for why you decided to go, but 2 tours? Yeah, that ended up happening. I was in for almost 6 years after the time, I signed up. And I did my tour and my first tour. And when I got home, I was a civilian again. And I got a letter. I was living in an apartment in Port Jeff. And I got a letter. I was opening up my mail. And I was in the bathroom opening up mail and bills and this and that at my first apartment. It was in my aunt's garage apartment. And I remember I saw this letter from George Bush. And I was like, what the hell is this? And it was recalling me back into the military. Right, got you. And what you do is when you sign a commitment, no matter what, you sign an 8-year obligation. So whether you do 3, 4, 5, 6 years active, you're actually on the hook for 8 years. Okay. So they called me right back and they said no less than a period of 585 days to report on this date, August 24th of 2004 it was, to report to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Wow. And I reported there. I remember walking in and I was like, these are some ate up motherfuckers, man. I do not want to go back to war with these people.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it turned out, it worked out, you know? Yeah. It didn't. But, you know, and that turned into a whole nother military career.
Well, I mean, I was about to ask you, looking back, how did those experiences being over there in Iraq shape you as a person?
There's pros and cons to that.
Because, you know, we've heard stories. I mean, I grew up in that time when they were enlisting us. Someone actually tried to enlist me. My mom said, send your daughter. Like, so how was that for you?
To me, I couldn't wait to go. There was my chance to be the man that I haven't been able to be.
Right.
Okay.
I
didn't get the grades. I wasn't the athlete. I wasn't, you know, any of those things that I felt that I could prove myself in, right?
Okay.
I always felt like the black sheep as it was, you know. My siblings, you know, that I grew up with, they didn't smoke cigarettes. They never smoked pot. They, you know, they married their high school sweethearts, you know, like I was not that person, you know. So by me doing this was me proving to the family and the world that not only do I have what it takes, but I'm going to come back somebody.
Okay.
You know, which is good and bad in a way, you know, because I almost had a sentence. I almost had like a death wish, as he could say, when I was there, you know.
Really?
And I put myself in positions a couple times that I probably shouldn't have, you know.
Wow.
And
wow.
But all for my ego, you know. I look back as not so much as not a glorified thing, you know. Not that I have regrets, but at the same time, like realizing now, and especially in sobriety, and looking at myself, and I did enough. I didn't have to do more to prove anything. Come on. You know. And that's, you know, and that's hard to deal with too, you know, because that comes collateral damage. You know, the things I've done, you know, those are more the things I live with, you know.
During your time over there, are there any moments while you were there that stay with you today? And I'm more so talking about like memories that you like built with people that you met there, good friendships, people that you might even still keep in touch with today. Because aside from the letter from Bush, did anything draw you to want to go back?
Yeah. I didn't do enough the first time.
Break it down for me.
Well, I went over, did my job, came back unscathed, you know, nothing happened. And, you know, it was like the Wild West when we first went there. You know, we went in, we obliterated the country, and we pulled out. It was a job. There was lives lost. It was very military Q. So it was standard operating procedures, they would call it, SOP. So there was really no confusion. It was, you know, if you were a military man, you either surrendered or you didn't. And we tried to use proper rules of engagement in those situations. And that was it. But I was younger, and I was at a lesser rank, and I really didn't have much. I didn't have much of a story to tell, in my personal view. I was around a lot of big things, but there wasn't enough of Billy's story. And again, that goes back that I wanted to be able to. These are things that I lacked. You know, that it's crazy because I no longer feel that way. You know, but I did for a long time.
What was the shift for you?
Well, definitely looking into myself. I mean, now if you want to go, the shift, that mentality stayed with me for 20 years. You know, I never thought I was good enough for anyone.
Wow.
Including her.
Wow.
You know, like including my wife.
Right.
Like I wasn't good enough for myself. My life was expendable. I was expendable. I mean, these are things that, you know, that I don't know why I felt that way. But honestly, my life was just, I could come or go. You know, I felt like I wasn't important to anybody. You know, which I know I'm not. I know that I am. I knew that I was.
Right.
But, you know, I always had a good support system. I didn't come from a broken family. You know, we had our issues, but like no more than anyone else. You know, other than the disease of alcoholism being genetic, there was, I had catches with my father. He taught me how to hunt and fish and camp and build things. And, and I had other, my mother cooked me dinners and breakfasts and whatever I wanted,
When you were over there, were there times, and again, I'm just going off of what we've seen on TV, what we heard, and how dangerous it could have been to serve at that time. Were there times where you genuinely felt like you weren't going to make it back home?
Twice.
Wow. Can you share?
Twice. The first time I remember that we were undermanned and we went on I did convoy security.
Okay.
So I was that guy that you see standing out the top of a Humvee with a 50 cal machine gun. And we would provide security to the trucks that were delivering supplies or sensitive material, whatever they had in the trucks. We really didn't know most of the time, but all we knew is that we had to move them from point A to point B, make sure they didn't get blown up, stolen, attacked, whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we would usually move at night, and this one particular night, it was a 2 a.m. move, and we were already in Baghdad, and we had to move through a hostile area, and it was a very busy part of the city, but it was tight. So there was only one truck and two of us, two security gun trucks and one supply truck, and it was very sensitive material. We don't know what was in there. It could have been, for all I know, it could have been plutonium, but I really don't know. We got hit that night, and an ambush came in, and I remember that there was only two of us, and we were taking rounds from every which angle. And I remember saying, and the bullets were hitting left and right, side, front, everywhere but me. And it was that point that I had faith. I had my first real God experience. And I said, I thought it was my grandfather at the time because he had just passed away. Okay. But I remember saying, it's got to be him. Because I never gave enough credit to just God, or my higher powers, you want to say. So it had to be somebody else that I knew, But I was like, we were fighting back as best we could, but we didn't know where it was coming from. Right. We didn't have a stronghold. We had no idea. We weren't in a secure area. We were in the middle of nowhere. We was getting fired down from 3 different angles. Ooh. And all I did, I remember, and it's tough to admit, I remember I wanted to duck down and curl up. I mean, isn't that a reaction of
flight or fight? Yeah, that's what I was going to say, fight or flight, right?
And then I went back to saying I can't, because if I don't, then nobody lives.
Wow.
That was a turning point. Ooh. That was a big turning point because I did fight back and we did not die. Okay. And we did get through and we pushed through and we made it. And that point changed me a little bit. I started to feel invincible.
That can be dangerous.
And that was dangerous. It made me a little arrogant. Put a chip on my shoulder. And it made me, from there forward, for the next about 8 months after that, I almost forced it,
Do you think that after that kind of like a adrenaline rush was like a hit for you? And you was kind of like addicted to that, right?
It was the best hit I ever had. And I've been chasing it for 20-something years.
I've heard of adrenaline junkies and things of that nature. Is that where you were?
Sure.
Wow.
And you know what? Wow. And it's funny, I actually shared about it. I shared in my home group last night. Wow. And I spoke about that. And I said, I was in this intense environment, right? And the adrenaline was always rushing. And it was always it was a fix. We would laugh moving forward. I would get shot at and laugh.
Oh my God.
I got shot in the arm. I laughed and I went and I get angry and I was just like, let's go.
Wow.
Do it again. Wow. It was a sickness. When I came home, there was nothing in this world that could fulfill that.
Right.
There's nothing in New York that could fulfill that.
I hear you. Okay. It's all making sense now. I get where you're to come from that. And New York isn't quiet or slow by any means, but to come from that and then to come to a more slow-paced environment, how was that on your mental? Like, aside from getting kind of addicted to the adrenaline, how was it coming down from the high of the adrenaline, and how was it becoming a normal citizen?
So coming down from something like that is
civilian.
exhausting. Because when you finally do, you crash. And I think that kind of, it started setting a pace for my life. Like I know that I go, crash. Go, crash. You know, that's really my MO, still kind of, you know. But transitioning, I didn't take any of the proper channels and I didn't take anything they were offering me when I was demobilizing. They offer mental checks, health checks. I said, just give me my papers. I sign whatever you want. Let me out.
The Army was providing you services to help you with your mental and things of that nature?
Well, they wanted to check you out.
Okay.
So I either lied or denied. You know, I didn't get my knees checked. I didn't get my back checked. I didn't get, you know, my hearing checked.
Wow.
So now I'm half deaf, got a screw loose, and I'm sent back into the society.
Wow.
And but I always said, I'm good. I could turn it on, turn it off. You know, and I guess you can for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm the world's biggest actor. You know, so... And that's also something that I've learned, especially in the last year. You know, I played 7 different roles in 20 different movies, you know, and that's of life, you know, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting to finally just say, this is who I am.
Yes.
Learn about and I'm every day. Look, it's been a year.
Right.
It hasn't been a lifetime.
Right.
I'm learning every day.
Right.
You know, and I got a long way to go. I still make mistakes.
Yeah.
Every day. But learning that I don't have to act. And I could just chill and be me. That's freedom.
Yes.
Freedom.
It's definitely liberating.
Not only just before I go to bed thinking about what I'm going to do when I wake up and where I'm going to grab what I'm going to grab and what you know, that's one thing. But knowing that I could just be who I am and bettering myself every day. You know, who I was, you know, I was sober 9 months ago, but I'm not the same person as I was 9 months ago.
Right. Every day we're changing in sobriety.
Every day.
Right.
And it's rapid.
Yeah.
It's rapid. I could be different. I could look at something now and tell you last week I thought of it differently.
Wow.
You know, but that's because I'm realizing and you know, not just me realizing, you know, through working with other people, you know, some people that I work with and maybe I'll give advice to, such as a sponsee or something, you know, I see things in myself to change. Or I work with my sponsor and he'll point out things and be like, well, you know, I'll say, well, I did this, and, you know, why is this one doing that? And he'll be like, well, where's your partner? Where's your partner?
I want to take a moment real fast. For the person who's still suffering, of course, they need us so they can see our story in X, Y, and Z. But we need them just as much as they need us because I don't ever want to go through that shit again. I don't ever want to deal with addiction again. And as much as I want you to get clean and sober, the things that I see while I'm helping people, I need to see that because I don't got this. At any moment, I can be homeless again. I can be incarcerated again. I could be fighting for my life, you know, to live because I can't stop drinking, you know, with cirrhosis and fatty liver. Like at any moment, I can be that old Danny again. But because of the work that I do, staying in the community, staying around people in sobriety, and also helping others who are trying to fight for their sobriety, it makes me remember where I came from and where I don't want to go back to. So that was, and I brought that up because you said working with your sponsees, you see, it helps you continue to develop because we're seeing ourselves in them, and at least in the point that you don't want to go back to, right? Yeah,
especially that powerlessness. You know, seeing that powerlessness it's real. And it's not biased. Right. It takes no prisoners, you know, and I have it. I am powerless over drugs and alcohol, 100%, you know. And, you know, working on being impulsive, working on being, you know, these are things I work on in sobriety, but that I still have, you know, I went on like a Temu and Amazon kick like a couple months ago. Like you wouldn't believe, you know, because like I saved a couple bucks, you know.
Yes, I do know.
And it was like all of a sudden, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm buying LED lights for the soffit of my house for no reason, like twice.
It's not just me, thank you. It's not just me, because them LED lights, like I They're always in my cart. But it's a thing with Temu and which is like Amazon, like the impulsive spending. Sometimes I got to check myself with that. Whenever you think back, are there things from the time that you were serving that you remember witnessing? I know you were explaining about like possibly getting shot at. Do those memories pop up constantly? And like, do you like for example, like sometimes when I think about my war with drugs, my addiction, my past, when I think about that, I sometimes break out in like a cold sweat just having those memories. How does that play for you?
So it's funny. I've had 2 wars. I've had that war.
Yes, you have.
And I've had my addiction war,
right.
you know?
Yep.
So if we're going to go back to that one, you know, I'd say it does. And there are memories that have popped up, and they did. You know, it's a lot less lately.
Nice.
It's a lot less in the last decade.
Nice.
But I also give that to the environment that I've lived in for the last 10 years. You know, my home is only disrupted because of my behavior, you know, but, you know, do you want to specifically know which memories or?
Yeah, I would love for you to share. If that's okay.
You know, there's one that I have a hard time with. There's a couple, but one I think plays an intricate role in who I am.
Okay.
You know, and why I do certain things. But so we were on a convoy and it was like 20, 30 trucks. And in that was like, I think like it was like the Iowa National Guard was driving, right? So it's half military, half civilian. And you're with these people for like 12, 18 days. Some missions are 2 days, some missions are 18 days. You know, for me to go pick them up, go down to Kuwait, they go to the ports, go back up, we got to go to Mosul, come back. I mean, I'm without a shower for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Okay.
And, you know, so we were on a convoy one time. We were coming down Route Irish, which is all the highways were named like a nationality, basically. That was the codes that we used.
Okay.
And Route Irish was a hot zone. It was always getting hit. And we got hit with an IED. And I remember my friend Derek Randall was in he was in that truck. And he was with a National Guard member, side by side. And what was her name? Her last name was Housby, Jessica Housby. And she was a female, and they were both in the truck. The truck got blown up. And I remember I got up to the truck, and it was an IED that went off, so it wasn't like we were taking fire. So I jump out of the truck. I knew it was his truck. I run up to it, and seeing him there, knowing that he had a female in the truck, I go to her first. It was like instinctual. I pull her out of the truck like she was dead. But I still took her and saved her, but knowing she was dead.
Wow.
It's something to do with like the male-female biology to me, like that instinct to protect. You know, it's not like I left him out to dry. Someone else was coming, but I left my friend whose leg was blown off to save a dead female, because to me it's like, I don't know, and I've had a hard time because I didn't protect her. Wow. So when it comes to the opposite sex, my daughters, my wife, my siblings, my mother, like I don't know, it's not a control thing. It's a protective thing.
I didn't think control at all when you were explaining that. I want to let you know that I picked up on the protection part. I
don't know if I come off that way though, like in reality, like in life. But you know, it's something that I can't change. You know, but you know, I think like a lot of people, like someone passes on your watch. My job is to keep everybody safe. Yeah, I couldn't control a buried bomb in the ground that I didn't know was there. Right. Looking back, but when I had a hard time for a long time. Wow. That I couldn't, you know, and it was always that should have been me. Should have been me. Someone got hurt, it should have been me. You know, because I put myself in that position to take it. Like, again, and that goes to, I would die for my country and for my service, but for what? Because I was a patriot? Let's really ask myself. Like, now I really ask myself, was I a patriot or did I want to be a martyr? Wow. Be martyred? Wow. Did I want the attention? I don't know.
So the fact that you're saying that, you see a lot of movies where it's like a war hero and they're like saving the scene, in the scene, like they're saving everyone. I wonder in real time, are they, like you said, are they a patriot for the country, or are they in some way like an adrenaline junkie? Like,
yeah,
is it?
I think you need to be an adrenaline junkie to do some of the shit we do.
Yeah.
You know, and they do, like, especially in the movies, you know.
That's deep.
You know, so back to that day, right? So they flew my buddy Derek out, and he was, I see him now on Facebook here and there, you know, and hit each other. I mean, rarely, but he's doing great. He's actually, I believe he's a reverend now down in Florida.
Nice.
And he got flown out. You know, we called in a medevac, and helicopter landed, boom, took him. I never saw him again, you know. And as I'm there, I'm like, well, I should have pulled him out. I knew she was dead right away. Why didn't I get him? You know, and I didn't know what his status was. I didn't know if he was going to live or die. I didn't know if he bled out, maybe if I got him out faster, you know. And it's funny. So he goes to Germany, right? And then I heard they sent him to Walter Reed in D.C., which is where all the soldiers come back stateside and they recoup. You know, usually when you have an injury that's sustained where you're not going back to service, they'll send you back here to heal. So he's at Walter Reed Medical Center, and my brother happens to live in D.C. And I came home on leave. They send everybody home for a 2-week leave when you do a year overseas. And I remember flying in. My whole family was up, and nobody lives in New York anymore. So everybody was home. They were throwing a party for me, and I was like, this is great. I was like, I need to get down to D.C. So, like, we had the party, boom. I remember the next day I drove my truck straight down there. And I get to Walter Reed. I have no idea. I have no phone. There was no iPhones. Right. There was no pictures. There was no, I heard he was at Walter Reed. So I drove to D.C. Walked straight in. I don't even know how I navigated through it. You know, I didn't even know where Walter Reed was. I was like reading a map. You know, there's no GPS, nothing.
No Google.
I mean, it probably was, but like I didn't have it.
Right, I got you.
You know, this is 2005.
Well, when did Google come out? Either way, technology wasn't
20 years ago.
Yeah.
So now I'm walking through and like, you know, I'm looking for PFC Derek Randall. You know, now they're like, they asked me, long story short, he was up on the 5th floor, right? I walk up to the 5th floor. I'm like looking for Derek Randall. They're like, oh, he was just discharged.
Oh, damn.
I missed him. All I wanted to do was apologize. It's all I wanted to do. Say I'm sorry. Say I wish I could have done more. Yeah. Are you okay? I'm here. I'm so sorry. You know, it's something.
Wow.
And I missed him. He left. Like that day, like
just
recently, just missed him.
Wow.
So I'm like, I was upset. I think I was crying. I was upset. I was really upset. And I just like, you see it like in a movie. Like I was just like kicking the floor, like walking down in the lobby. And I get out by like, you know, the doors of front of a hospital. And then like you have the people waiting for like cabs or an ambulance, drop somebody off. And there he is.
Oh.
There he is.
I was not expecting that.
No, me neither.
Oh, wow. So how was that interaction? Wow. You got me like on the edge of my seat.
Man. I was like, he's like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, man, and that was God.
Yeah, man. Because you know what? I know God did not want you to hold that. That would have been too much.
I don't think I could have.
That's too much. Like the Most High knows us, and that's a lot to make a person have to hold for a long time. I love that you got to run into him like that.
You know, not being there for people because of my own selfishness, self-centeredness, and things that I've done has made me suicidal. There's been many times that the drink has brought me to wanting to take my own life because of the memories of not being there for people that I felt I should have.
Wow.
And I have not had a thought in a year now. Nice.
Oh, you know, the reason why I exhaled just now is because I'm, again, like I do with all my guests, I'm putting myself in your shoes. And to have that in your mental, I don't wish that on you. You know what I'm saying? Like how... I
don't wish it on anybody.
Yeah. Speaking of your mental, I'm always curious to see like the transition from when you're in service, and they always say, oftentimes our vets don't get the services they need. How was that for you? What was it like coming home after your tours? Were you able to tap into housing? Were you able to tap into into mental health? And briefly, had you started using drugs before you went to the service, or was this after?
Abusing after. I tried before, and I've done a little bit here and there, but never was more than a one night thing. Yeah. It was a Friday night, let's go out, regretted it the next day kind of thing.
Okay.
And that was it. You know, I probably drank too much for a normal 18-year-old, but that's part of the show.
So after you left the service, that's when things picked up.
Right away. When
you first left the service, were you able to, like I was saying, get into any resources, or was that a very
struggle? With veterans do get treated well, especially now. Okay. So because they used to not. After OIF, OEF, so it's Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, which is Afghanistan, the VA, I know at least in our local VA, but it seems to be nationally, because I've been to a few other states and to the VAs. They have a whole separate program and wing. So like we go in as OIF, OEF veterans, carte blanche. So the old man with no leg and a rusty beard is sitting there. He's waiting for 2 hours, still getting shitty service. We're walking in, I can get a CAT scan, an x-ray, pain pills, and a full triage and be out within an hour. You know, whereas some people got to wait a month just to get a CAT scan.
I mean, you guys do the work. You deserve
They realized what they did in the past.
Yeah.
And they made it tenfold.
Good. Okay.
Done. So it was offered, but like I said, like I denied all that when I got home. Right. I just wanted out.
Right.
I wanted to get home, get back to my life, my family, my friends. You know, I wanted to start. I wanted out. I was done. You know, like that was one story. There was story like I fell short so many times where I was given Army accommodation medals. I was given, you know, awards of excellence and this and that. I still never felt I did enough. That's me though.
Wow.
It wasn't, the people in the military didn't see it like that. I was getting coins from generals and this and that. Like I did enough. I was promoted to sergeant within 4 years.
Wow.
You know, I was on the fast track, you know, and like I did what I was supposed to do. Just to me, I always, probably because I felt like I was able to do more that I should have. So maybe that, I don't, you know, that I haven't figured out about myself yet.
But that's just like most people who struggle with addiction. It's never enough for us, right? Even when we're doing good, like, but there's, what do they say? Too much of anything isn't good for you.
Right? Anything.
Yeah. When you came home, what felt different about you compared to when you left?
I was impulsive and I had rage. I had a rage that I never had. I was a goofy, silly, funny, sarcastic, you know, wannabe playboy. And I was either, I had this rage that I just couldn't control anymore. And it just came out of nowhere, you know, but then I go back to being my goofy selfie, you know, goofy, sarcastic self, you know, going to work, hanging out, you know, doing my thing. But, you know, the rage, I couldn't stop. You know, when I would lose my shit at a boss, you know, I couldn't hold a job. And I'm a talented, you know, in construction. I do construction. I've always done construction. My family's in construction. And you ask any of them, like, and I'm not, this is humbly saying, like, God has given me talents that things come naturally to me that maybe don't in other people when it comes to that field. And, you know, I would, you know, a boss would tell me something to do and I would like just lose it on him. Or I would, next thing you know, I'm like, he's like, I got to let go, you know, and I took it, you know, I'd be like, you can't fire me. Like I'm the, well, yeah, I can. You know, so it was hard to hold the job being that, you know, and it was killing me, you know. So then I never thought there was going to be consequences. You know, I always thought I could talk my way out of it or smile my way out of it, wink my way out of it, you know, something like that. And it works sometimes. But then it only works until it doesn't.
Right.
You know?
Right. Before going to war, I briefly asked you, and you said, yeah, a little here and there when you would, use substances and drugs and alcohol. Can you remember the first time you used any substance when you came home? Would you say that first time using when you first came home, did it do something? Did it trigger something in you? Did you feel calm for all the racing thoughts? And then,
so the first time I used when I got home?
Yeah.
First time I used when I got home, besides drinking alcohol, I remember drinking alcohol when I got home was like picture yourself dying of thirst and chugging water. That's how I remember drinking alcohol for the first time. And I was with my cousin JJ. He came and picked me up at Fort Dix, where everybody demobilizes from overseas. And again, instead of waiting for the proper, because I live so close, everyone else had to wait for their flights and get out. And, so they had another 2 days there. I called my cousin as soon as I got to a phone. I said, come get me. And he came down in his shitty Jetta or Jeep, whatever he was driving back then. I laugh now because now he's so successful. It's funny. Now. But he comes down to get me, and we had this, there was this bar there. And what was it called? Pudgy's. This bar called Pudgy's. And I was like, yo, let's go. We go. And I remember downing probably 6 beers in about 6 minutes, and it was just like, and he was looking at me, he's like, you all right? And I mean, I'm the biggest I've ever been. I was like 230 pounds. I was just like, let's go fucking fight. That's how I felt.
Oh, you was on a mission.
We were just like, let's go. I could conquer the world, and it's crazy, but that's how it started. That's how it started. I remember the way that alcohol hit me, man. And it was like, that wasn't my first drink that hit me like that. That hit me, and it was just like, all of a sudden that ego started coming in.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
That was my actual next question. What were those substances doing for you emotionally and mentally?
Well, they blocked everything I didn't want to think about. And it just made me notice, so again, like when I said, I came home, right? I'm not going to say it was right away. Substances didn't hit me right away. I came home for a little bit and I was bored. And I found myself sleeping all the time, and I'm like lazy. Now I'm lazy. I was never lazy. Now I'm lazy. I was lazy when I was a kid. I never wanted to feel that way again. Then I go over, I joined the military. I'm not lazy anymore. And I come home again, I'm lazy again. Right. So what do you do? And I remember we were working, and it was like, I don't know, maybe we were hungover or something, and this kid was working with us. He was a friend of ours. And he had like a Vicodin. And he gave me a Vicodin. And I took that thing, and I was like, let's go. Yeah. And I started working. Right. And I'm building houses, man. Like I was sheathing, I was carrying up plywood on the roof, running around. I was nuts. And, it brought me back. Like I got to act like I did over there at work. It's a little loose in construction, So I got to do dangerous things. I was running across rafters and beams 30 feet up in the air. I was, and I'm doing these things because I needed that. And then people look at me like, I'm known as being a psychopath. Still to this day at work. I'm 44 years old and I work in a union, I'm still known as a psychopath. I'm still crazy. Got that rep. And I wanted it. I wanted it. Like I am crazy. Today I'm just a loving crazy, Today I stopped the other day. There was a guy who came to me the other day. I don't know. I don't mean to, segue too much here, but, there was a guy on my job site, another trade. He's an iron worker. And he looked like shit. And I was up on the roof and I looked down and I was like, rough night? And he looks up, he's like, oh, I'm so sick. I think I'm going to go home. And I just looked at him. I was like, I'll save you a seat at my meeting tonight. Oh,
it was, you could tell he was kind of hung.
I could tell, but he was crying sick,
Right, yeah.
So next thing you know, he comes up on the roof and he was pissed I said that. And I was like, don't be mad at the truth, bro. Right. I was like, I ain't judging you. Do what you want. I did it for freaking a decade,
Many a times. Many a times.
I didn't go to work without drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. I feel you on
I
that.
had a dealer at my every job site from Montauk to Manhattan at 6 a.m. waiting for me. I didn't wait for them.
I didn't have a drug dealer because my drug of choice is alcohol. But before my shift started, I was at that liquor store. And if I didn't get to go there before my shift started, I was going on my lunch break because either it was a wake and bake or I was rushing to get to my next bottle.
So it all started and ended with alcohol. You know, like I had to wake up. Like it got to a point where I was like opening up like cans of like, now they got like White Claws and High Noons and stuff now. All these like liquor, what are they called? Whatever. Everybody knows what they are. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
So they would always be in the fridge, right? And the last few months, you know, I would have to open them at night so she wouldn't hear it in the morning. You know, because my bedroom is right by the refrigerator, like right off the kitchen.
Yes.
So like I would open them at night, hide them in the back of the fridge, and I would drink 2 or 3 at 4 o'clock in the morning because I was at the point where I couldn't brush my teeth. I would throw up. I couldn't do anything. Yeah. I couldn't even open my eyes enough to get in my car and get to the train station.
Yeah.
And so it always started 2 or 3 of those, get to the job, you know, like I said, then I'd pick up, you know, my substance of choice. Then I'd be able to start my day. And if I didn't have that, you know, the sickness really is when I didn't, right? So let's say I'd go like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, didn't have any, had no money, had no ability. It was never because I didn't want to. Although every time I did, it was the last day. Every time I did it in the last couple of years, it was the last time.
Yeah.
Tomorrow was different. So I would strategically get enough so that I'd be done.
Yep. Right.
Then I wake up and have to start it all over. That is imprisonment.
Right. Oh my gosh.
That's imprisonment. When I say I'm a free man today, the fact that I can wake up, say a prayer, kiss my wife goodbye, and go to work without having to stop or go somewhere or make a phone call or do anything. I'm free.
Right.
Dude, I feel, I mean, it's so much lighter. So all those other things that came along with that heaviness that I had to deal with are lifted as well, you know?
I was listening to you when you were saying about how you would be drinking and you would be hiding it in the back. When you say free, even just not having to do sneaky shit like that.
Yeah.
Because damn, like that is I was saying on another episode, drinking wasn't fun anymore. It became a chore. Yeah. You know, to not have to go through withdrawal, 2, to try to hide it. Like I thought I was still hiding it. And I can remember many times hiding liquor, bottles of liquor in the cabinet behind things so people couldn't see it right away. And it's just like, I'm getting exhausted just thinking about it.
It's exhausting.
To be an addict is very exhausting.
Constant rat race in your head. And it's like the logistics of living a day-to-day life, being a functioning alcoholic and addict.
Yeah.
The logistics you need to have is like, you could run a country on what you have to do to support that and continue life. I mean, you know, maybe it would have been a little bit more of a shit show if I didn't have a wife and kids and a house and a family and a job and coaching and this and that. But I tried to put up this persona that I was good. Yeah. And to the outside eye, I was. Or I was just, it wasn't that bad. I let people see what they want to see, what I want them to see. You know, but you want to know what an addict is really like. Ask his wife. Ask who he lives with and see how and then you'll know how he's really doing. Because you're going to know how you're going to know what I show you. Right. You're going to believe what I tell you. You know, ask her if I'm telling you the truth. You know, then that's really what it's about because she had to live with it. You know, the problem is now is like the believing that I'm, you know, it's really the motivation to be a better person. You know, I do it for me, but because of her, because of my wife, you know, she threw me out of the house and that wasn't easy. She never wanted to. She lived with that shit for 5 years. Yeah. She didn't want me to leave. She couldn't live with me anymore. She made a comment to me one day and I'll never forget it. She's like, living with you is like being at your funeral, except I don't get to say goodbye to you.
Wow.
That's the deepest thing I ever fucking heard.
Wow. That just gave me goosebumps. That was deep as hell. And, you know, shout out to our supports, our family. Your wife is in the studio with us today. I'll shout her out for holding you down, being able to stick it out with you because we put our family and our friends through hell. And like you just said, she had to deal with it every single day. And putting you out, I'm sure, who wants their man to leave? You know, she wants you home with her. But you guys had the kids in the house.
My addiction, my addiction took over to the point where I didn't think she wanted it.
Wow.
I didn't believe she loved me.
Yeah.
I would come home every day happy because I was at work and I had no repercussions for my actions, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd come home and every day, all day long, we'd be texting this and that, and it was fine. As soon as I walk in the door, she's in a bad mood. And I'd be like, you see, it's you. I'm happy. You're not. Mm-hmm. She was happy until she looked in my eyes and knew I was fucked up.
Because I knew you were going to say that. Like,
yeah. But I didn't see that until now.
Yeah. I'm sure every time her seeing you in that space probably just killed a little bit
I think there was a little bit of hope. I mean, you're talking years. Every day there was hope.
Right.
Maybe today's not the day he comes home like that. So the texts were nice. The phone calls were good. Hey, can you stop at the store? Hey, I love you too, blah, blah, blah. We've loved each other our whole lives. Yeah. With other people, she did, like, we've known each other since high school. I've been in love with her since.
Right.
We've lived in, like, it's not that I take it for granted that I did it. I'm powerless, right? So that hope that she'd have every day that I come home, maybe today he won't.
Right.
So that she was being nice, she was being truthful. But then I come home and I'm like, you were good all day, now you're a bitch. Mm-hmm. No. She looked in my eyes and knew that second. Uh-huh. She's got the nose of a Malinois, a Belgian Malinois. She could smell shit on me from before I got off the train.
The door.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. She's like, you smell it? It was just, I laugh, but these are things that thank God I could laugh about now.
Yes.
Whether or not they're funny to those who I've hurt and I love, but I got to laugh a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I got to laugh.
Yeah,
I'm not a glum lot, man.
Yeah.
And they say that in sobriety. Mm-hmm. I got to live my life because if I live in the depression, to me is living in the past. Yeah. When I get anxiety, that's living in the future. I had anxiety before I got here because we were running late, right? Mm-hmm. That's me thinking that you're going to be upset, thinking of the future. Mm-hmm. If I stay present, I'm at peace. Mm-hmm. Hardest thing for me to stay present. Say
that again. If you stay present, you're at peace.
If I stay present, I'm at peace.
That lands with me. Yeah.
But it's hard for me to do. Yeah, and that's something that you don't get within, I had to learn how to get sober, stay sober, pray, go through my I'm in a 12-step program, right? So by doing that, it has guidelines, suggestions, and stuff like that. So it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. Plus you're finding out all this shit about yourself. Yeah. You're realizing that the problem isn't the drugs. The problem isn't the alcohol.
That part, right.
The problem is me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do we fix that? Mm-hmm. Well, we get out of ourselves. We help others. Pray to God. You got to find that higher power. Mm-hmm. Thank God he's always been there. I just didn't know where he was.
Yeah.
For me, that wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part is actually learning. I'm like, well, how do I talk to him? Like, I'm thinking I got to be at a Catholic mass when I talk to God. It's not the case.
Right.
Now I'm just like, hey, what's up? Listen, this is my problem.
Yep.
I'm going to need you to remove this thought from me right now.
Right.
And honestly, I couldn't be in a better place. You're driving through this beautiful area in Greenpoint and Williamsburg, and it's a beautiful day outside. There's drinks and there's flow and there's people out there, and that spring fever's coming on. It's the first time in my life I don't have a preconceived notion to have a drink in the future.
Nice. Come on.
I've been to rehabs. I've done that. I've done 28 days. I've done 43 days. I've done 6-month outpatient, out of state, in state. All over the place. I've gotten to therapy. I've gotten treatment. None of that shit works if you don't want it. Mm-hmm. I've always had okay, I'll never do drugs again. I'm going to drink in a year. I'm going to drink, no, dude, I'm done. I'm good. Mm-hmm. I'm good. Because when I drink without drugs, I'm suicidal. Mm-hmm. When I just do drugs, I have to drink.
Wow. That's amazing that you noticed that about yourself. Because what did you say? You said when you do drugs, you have to drink. But when you drink, you become suicidal. I don't know if that's every alcoholic's, because I know I never, like I said before, I never attempted suicide, but I've been in a place where I didn't care if I lived or died. And I'm wondering if that's the norm of every alcoholic's thought process, either some form of suicide, being suicidal.
Well, it's what else do you do?
Well, yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Come
on. You're so shameful. You're so guilty. You know what you're doing to everybody.
What else?
It's what else do I do? What other options do I have?
Yes.
Run away?
Right.
Go where?
Right.
I got no money left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what? I'm not going to leave my family, my kids.
So
you know,
good.
like I can't. My family. Look, I could stay home. Like my wife will say I can't, but like I mean, I don't deal with the kid. Like I couldn't deal with them all day long. It can't be like a stay-at-home dad. But honestly, like if I was retired, I would never want to leave my house. Mm-hmm. And it's not like a codependent thing. It's like I got everything I want in this world right there. Now I just got to learn how to balance it and take care of it, in a responsible way. Mm-hmm. The first 6 months of my sobriety, I spent living in a sober house.
Okay.
And not by choice.
Okay.
It went from my car, living in front of job sites, to my buddy's couch. And that got too easy. They were like, you ain't living on your buddy's couch. And I with his kids there. They made me feel uncomfortable. But boy, you got to get out.
Right.
And then God stepped in. Sober house. Can't live in a sober house. That's like, to me, a sober house without ever living in one or seeing one. My mental picture of a sober house was like a crack den. Like, like guys coming in and out and like everyone fucking up and this and that. Like, no, there's structure. Right. I gotta live under another man's rule. Mm-hmm. That humbles you. It's the best thing I ever did. Get humbled. Right. As I'm an alpha male that lived life on my terms. I live life on my terms, under my will. My decisions don't, being in the positions I was in the Army, at work, at home, like not so much at home, but let's just say the Army and at work. I've been somewhat of a leader at a young age, and it came easily and quickly. People come to me for answers, right? For questions, this and that. I show good ethic. Every other aspect of my life, you could throw that out the window. But I never had the balls to say that. I never wanted to admit it. I never wanted to be humble enough to say that I don't know. I don't have the right answers. I don't know how to take care of myself. Right. I could take care of you, but I can't take care of myself. That's hard to do. Or I didn't know that was really the problem. I didn't know it. And that's the most humbling thing. Living in this house, I remember like the first few nights, one of the rules was you always had to have shoes on or slides or something. So one of the guys woke me up. It was the NBA playoffs. And he's like, my roommate comes up, he's a younger guy. And he's like, I was like, what are you up to? He's like, I'm going downstairs to watch the playoffs. So like, I'll come with you. Because I wasn't really bonding with them. I was going to work, going to meet. I had my own little thing going on.
Gotcha.
I'd come up. If I was in my room, I was sleeping, So I was like, you know what? I'll come down. So I come down and I got out of bed. But to me, you're in a house. You don't wear shoes. I'm not going to go sit on a couch with sneakers on. But it was a rule.
Right.
So the guy comes in and he's like, Billy, what's on your feet? I'm like, nothing. You see that? Like, what are you asking me stupid questions for? Like, that was my response, He's like, well, the rule's having shoes on. And like, instead of just saying, I'm sorry, I knew the rules. I signed the rules when I moved in. I was like, well, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like something smart ass, something, disrespectful like that. And I remember saying it to like my sponsor like that day, I was like, you believe this shit? Like, and he's like, yeah, it's a rule.
It's the rule.
Who are you to not follow a rule?
Right.
You're lucky he didn't kick you out.
Yeah.
And that woke me up. Like, a rule is a rule. I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to accept it, but I have to follow it. And these are things, and it's hard I'm 44 years old, like I said, like 43 years old coming in, like, I should have been done with this shit already. But it's okay. I got to learn it now.
Come on. It's okay, right?
It's all good.
Like,
I'd rather learn it now than never.
Yeah.
My father never learned it. He had to die a dry drunk, or not even a dry drunk. He had to die drunk, who didn't learn these things.
I appreciate you saying that it's okay, because whoever is tapping in, they probably are in a space where they feel like their life isn't where it needs to be. They might be even sober and feel like their life isn't where it needs to be, or they haven't attained the education that they think they need. Where you are right now is okay.
It's
as long as you're still working on yourself. It's not okay to stay there, but it's okay to be there and continue to grow.
Absolutely. Right? And that slowing down and letting it be and living through something else's will. Every time I try to force things or I try to change things, or try to manipulate the system to get what I want or what I think I need, it gets struck back and I'm out. Like it doesn't work. And I go back down, and that's where a lot of times, early in sobriety, that's where we fall short. And And you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Might as well drink.
Yeah. Call it the fuck it's, right?
The fuck it's.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't say fuck it. I can't steal the 5 days. Like, it drives me nuts that they charge me 5 cents at a grocery store for a plastic bag or a paper bag.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for plastic bags, but now they do it for paper bags.
Everything.
So whatever. Yeah. So I used to just I go to self-checkout, guaranteed. And if I wasn't stealing food, I was stealing them bags.
Give me that damn
0.
bag.
How many bags did you? 0.
When they be ringing you up, do you need a bag? I just spent $100 in here. I think I need a bag.
Yeah. And it's like, see, so what I need today is accountability. And I'm getting better on my own where I need it, but in the beginning, man, I needed it.
Yeah.
So I needed that sober house, right? I couldn't go to a self-checkout. I had to go to the line.
Nice.
And have them ring it up.
Nice analogy.
Because, dude, I was taking it.
I like that.
I'm taking it.
I like that.
Walmart, all these companies, like, I'm stealing from you because that ain't hurting your pocket. I'd never steal from you, Danny. Because you're an individual. Like, I had morals, but I'm taking from the fucking owner of this building.
But you say, I had morals. Respect.
I did. Like, I had levels.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I justified it. Justifying is just friggin' lying for your bullshit.
Yeah.
That's all that is co-signing your bullshit. That's what justification is. There's right and wrong.
Right.
Today it's pretty clear. I know, and look, I still want to get it. I catch myself all the time. I got to go pray for it. Because like I do it, like when it comes to the inflation and the money and this and that, like I still want to take things that I can do. I want to get away with what I can.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not sober.
Right. There you go. It's the behavior we're trying to change as well.
Look, not drinking and using is a byproduct of my sobriety. Becoming a better husband, a better father, and a better human being to society is the gift that I get from sobriety. And that's not a line, man. That's something I really, truly mean.
Respect.
I'm finding shit about myself, and I don't mean to keep cursing, but I'm finding stuff out about myself that I never thought I'd touch. I just thought, this is who I am. That's what it is. You don't like it, leave. Well, I don't want you to leave.
I got you.
I want to be a better person.
Right.
I want to be nice. I want to be sensitive. I want to see where I wrong people and make it right. And that's to me, that's a gift.
Respect. Respect. So again, I appreciate you for being transparent. But before we go, I want you to reach out and talk to the person who might be listening in, who is possibly considering getting sober, taking that first step. What do you want them to hear right now?
It's a good question. I would say if you're struggling and you don't know, you're on the fence, you think your life's over. How could you live? How could you socialize without drinking? How could you go on? How could you manage your inner demons without drinking? All these things. My life, I've tried it every which way. I've tried sober, I've tried not, I've tried monitoring, I've tried changing what I drank, what I didn't drink. The number one thing is, I swear, like my life in a year is nowhere but perfect, right? I would trade this year for any year I've had before this.
Nice.
If you're struggling, let go. Find someone who's not and take some suggestions. You have to take some suggestions in this. Understand that your thinking has led you to where you are. My thinking has let me keep it like that. My thinking brought me to where I was. Yeah. And I thought, and I tried it every way. So I always thought that if I did it but this way, it would work. Finding a higher power. And all that means, in a real simple way, is just finding something greater than yourself that you can kind of let go and just let things happen. So it was like we were saying before, just accepting now for now. But you have to do the next right thing with that. So you can't accept now for now and then go steal something and expect tomorrow's day to be better.
Right.
So by accepting now for now, it keeps me, it's that accountability. I have to do the next right thing to know that today's going to be okay. Because the anxiety comes back. When I know I didn't do the right thing, I know it's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? There's so many different groups out there. If you're a veteran, you know, there's so many different programs that the VA offers. Mm-hmm. There's a couple different online ones. I wish I had them offhand to give a shout out to, but you know, there's great 12-step programs. Mm-hmm. You know, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. Yeah. There's a couple others also. Mm-hmm. You know, not to say one's better. Whatever you find in your niche, but what you find is you find a group of people that are doing it.
Right.
All right. And give it a shot. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I appreciate you also sharing the specific different groups that people could tap into. This episode, we really do want our veterans to tap into any resources. A lot of them, like you said, are free.
They're all free.
Yeah, so
everything is free.
And if you don't know where to start, like we say before, 988. We just came across this magical number. If anywhere in these United States, I don't even know if it goes outside of America, but if you don't know where to start, and that's with addiction, mental health, dial 988 and they'll point you in the right direction. Billy, I cannot thank you enough. Danielle, thank you for coming in, and thank you for sharing your story. It's definitely going to help the next man, okay?
Great. Thanks so much.
See you next time. Peace.